There's an Arizona State professor named Joel Garrow who used to work at the Washington Post. He's a futurist, and he calls specifically he's referring to Russian disinformation, but this whole idea of disinformation on the internet, an attack on the Enlightenment, is how he looks at it. He said if there are no factual baselines, and this is what Facebook has now been forced to have to try and modulate, then there's
may go to MSNBC someday.
But if there's no factual baselines, it's hard to have a reasoned argument, and democracy depends on that. You don't disagree with that?
Actually, I do.
Okay.
How many lawyers are in the room? I mean, look at that. This is only in Washington will they admit it. Look, lawyers come into court with two truths. They can't both be true. And juries spend a lot of time dealing with BS from both lawyers, overspin, and it doesn't matter whether it's civil or criminal. The combatant nature of partisan output, your facts, my facts, your statistics, my statistics, none of that's going away. Where we have to find certain discipline is how we define those terms. In other words, is the editorial page the only place you'll find opinion in the Wall Street Journal? Well, Wall Street Journal is better than most at trying to keep opinion on the opinion page and fact on the fact pages. That's one of the challenges we have in a lot of emerging technologies and even in some of these legacy systems, is that they're blurring the two. I do not think that facts are ever going to be settled except by two groups, each presenting their views or more, and having a healthy opportunity for people to figure out that somebody is slanting the truth in order to get an outcome that isn't necessarily true. And that's not new. So it's not that I don't want the truth. It's not that I can't take the truth. It's that I think that we have to understand that we're always going to have a debate and people are going to pull out the facts they want. There is a challenge right now in the tech world, Facebook, Twitter, and so on, and that is if we're dealing with, quote, shutting down things that aren't true, is it only conservative thought that isn't true? Is there an 80-20 ratio of one side being shut down versus another? That is dangerous because complete free speech can be dangerous, but selective free speech has to be analyzed for, are the rules so easily understood and so defined that you can make sure that they're not selectively picking winners and losers based on an ideology. And currently, my party is convinced that many of these platforms are in fact using the, quote, it's just an algorithm as an excuse to shut down one form of speech as unacceptable. You know, the greatest debate there is in the world today is the settled debate about climate change. Climate change is settled, period. Well, you know, we've had all kinds of truisms, including where the first man came and what the history of all kinds of things were, that have been turned upside down time and time again. No science should ever be settled, and yet if the internet decides that anyone who says it isn't getting warm as fast as somebody else is a heretic and takes it off, then we lose the opportunity to actually question science for better results. So it's not just politics, it's all kinds of things where we have to have either a free exchange or defined rules where the public can analyze whether or not there's a bias and make decisions.